Because you know what it is to spend 5 hours just renewing your passport and then it will take another 2 months before it comes out. After going through this whole process, for my opinion, I think it's easier to apply for a passport in Nigeria. Hello amazing people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Mahtilda, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about the whole process of renewing your Nigerian passport here in the UK. I recently renewed my passport here in the UK, and all I want to say is that it was a stressful experience. So for this video, I'm going to be telling you guys the documents to take with you, what to experience, and what happens on your biometrics day. If this is the kind of content you like, make sure you give this video a massive thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Turn on that post notification bell so that I get notified whenever I post a video. And let's get right into the video. First things first, before you renew your passport here in the UK, you have to go to the Nigerian immigration website in order to, create an account and sign in. I'll be leaving the website, in my description box, so make sure you check it out. So you need to visit that website and, create an account, sign in, and then fill in the form that is being required of you on the website. So after filling in that form, the next thing you have to do is you have to pay for it. When I was renewing my passport, I decided to apply for the 10 years passport. So you either apply for the 10 years passport or you're applying for the 5 years passport. After the whole story and the whole stress I have heard about renewing your passport here in the UK, I knew that I was not going to apply for that 5 years because there is no way I would want to experience this again in the next 5 years, because the way the years are going by, before you know it's already 5 years. So I figured I was just going to do the 10 years old. So yeah, when you're done filling in the form online, you have to pay. I did the 10 years one and I paid about $242 because you have to pay in dollars. It was about $12 for the service charge and then $230 for the main passport. So I did the 10 years old, which contains about 64 pages. So yeah, that's the one I did. And I think the 5 years, passport is about $150. So yeah, after paying for your passport, the next thing you have to do is you have to schedule and choose an appointment date. Now this is where I did not know that there was even a problem, because I started this process in June 2023. I think once I sign in, fill in the form, the next thing for me just to schedule, and I would see a date in, let's say, August. That was what I thought. I did not know that before you even get an appointment date is an issue. So yeah, I was applying for all these things at the end of July, and the next appointment date I saw was in September, and my passport expires in December. And another thing that I had issue with was when I was trying to make payments for the passport, I used my Monzo card and it kept declining. I used my Monzo card 3 times and it kept declining. I'm thinking that I was being scammed, because I never can tell. So I was thinking I was being scammed. I was always sending a message to the customer care telling them that I've made payment, but it's not reflecting on the website that payment has been made. They kept rectifying it. Luckily, I was able to get my money back. But after I realized that Monzo wasn't working, I decided to use my Lloyd's bank. So if you're having an issue with making payments, it's probably your bank that's the problem. So you should consider using another bank card. So yeah, I used my Lloyd's to make the payment. So yeah, now back to the appointment date. So yeah, I got an appointment in September. So now after filling the form online, making payments, and booking your appointment date, the next thing for you to do is to print out the documents you require. Guys, make sure you print out all your documents. The first document you need is your appointment slip. This appointment slip, you will not be allowed into the premises without your appointment slip. They won't even allow you into the building without that appointment slip, because that appointment slip shows the dates and the time for your appointment. So you really need it, because that's what they will check before you get in. So you need your appointment slip. The next slip you need is your payment slip, your payment acknowledgement slip. So this shows how much you paid and whether or not you've made payments for the passport. So you need that with you. The third thing you need is your online application form. This shows all your details, your name, your contact details, and all of that. That is what this document contains. After that, you also need to get a £20 postal order. So for this postal order, all you need to do is to go to a post office and tell them that you need it. I went to the post office to get mine. I literally just told them, can I get the £20 postal order? And they were like, is it for the Nigerian High Commission? I'm like, yes. So they know what you're looking for, so just ask them and they'll give it to you. So you need that. Another thing you need is your, you need a special delivery envelope. Make sure you go with the special delivery envelope, because that is where they're going to put your passport in order to send it to you. So you need a special delivery envelope, and I think I got that one for about £7 something. I can't remember, but you also need that. It's just like, it's a nylon basically where they will put your passport in it. So you need that. Another thing you need, which is so important, is your NIN. Make sure you go with your NIN. I did my NIN back in Nigeria, so I did not need to do it here in the UK. I had like the original copy of the slip, and I just had like my NIN number. So you need to make sure that you have your NIN with you. So yeah, these are the documents you require when applying for the passport. Now let us talk about my whole experience and what to expect on that day. Before renewing this passport and before going for like my appointment date, I had to watch so many YouTube videos. I had to watch TikTok videos and see people's experience, because when it comes to anything that has to do in Nigeria, you have to be prepared for it. Like, you really have to be prepared for it. So because I don't stay in London, I had to travel into London on that day. I left my house around 6 a.m. and I reached London, let's say past 8. And one mistake I did was I went to the wrong office. So I literally just put in my Google Map Nigerian High Commission. I didn't know that there were 2 offices. So one office is where they get like visa approval, and the other one is where they get passports. I went to the one on Fleet Street instead of the other one on, I think it's Northumberland. And immediately I reached the one on Fleet Street, I knew I was at the wrong address, because all the videos I've been watching, the queue that is usually at the embassy is crazy. And when I reached the one on Fleet Street, there were about 4 or 5 people. Something said, Mahtilda, you are at the wrong place. Before I even asked them if this was the right office, they said no, it wasn't the right office, and I had to go back to the correct address. Luckily for me, the 2 offices are about 10 to 15 minutes distance. So I just took an Uber straight to that place because I did not want to waste time. And this was already like 10-15 minutes to 9 o'clock. And the office opens by 9 a.m. So I got an Uber and went to the right address. So before you go to the embassy, make sure you're looking at the right address. Use the correct postcode. Don't be like me and go to the wrong place. So yeah, that was one mistake I did. When I arrived at the location, I saw the queue from far. Like, when you can see the queue from far. Where the embassy is, there's other embassies there. So there are like other country flags. And you will just see a very long queue at the Nigerian embassy. Like, the queue was so long. It was a long queue, and the queue was entering another side of the building to show you how long it was. Like, we're forming an L. That is how long the queue was. When I came, the L was already formed. Like, the L was already long. So I had to join the queue. And make sure that when you join the queue, the person in front and at the back know that you're there. In case you need to like go out and do something, just make sure that they know that you're there. So yeah, when I joined the queue, I joined the queue around 9 o'clock, and guys, I decided to write like timestamps of every stage of this appointment, and I wrote them down on my phone. So when I got there, I stayed outside for about an hour, 15 minutes. You will stand outside, like you will stand. So make sure you are very comfortable on that appointment day. Make sure you carry snacks. I carried snacks. I carried a drink and crepes. So make sure you're with snacks. Make sure you wear very comfortable shoes, because you're gonna stand, like you're going to stand for a long time. So we were on that queue, and people were just asking us what's happening, and we were telling them that it's passport we came to do. And they're like, really, huh? Guys, and the funny thing is that the embassy is on the road, so everybody's going to see you. Like, everybody's going to see that it's only Nigeria that there's a long queue. Other embassies, there is no queue outside. So yeah, just make sure you're comfortable with comfortable food and all of that. So yeah, after staying outside for about an hour, 15 minutes, I really reached like the entrance of the building. So now let's talk about what you need before you get in. So at the entrance, there is a man there that checks your document before you go in. What he's usually checking is your appointment slip. So that is where they'll show like your date and your time. And if your date is wrong, you won't be allowed into the building. Once you check that your date is correct, then you can go into the building. I don't think they're really checking like the time, because even people that have like 10 or 11 a.m. are there. So yeah, after checking your appointment slip, you're going to go into the hall, because there's a down floor and there's an up floor. So you're going to go into the down floor. And guys, when I got into the down floor, the crowd that was inside, when I got into the ground floor, they were at 160, and my ticket number was 268. So I had to wait for like over 100 people to be called up. So I had to look for a seat, because see, just look for a seat sharp and just sit down. When I sat down, there is a guy that comes out to tell you what to write. So at that stage, you're supposed to write your name, your phone number and your address on your special delivery envelope, as well as on one of the documents. The man is going to tell you the document to write it on. So make sure you go with a pen, because you don't want to start borrowing pen in the embassy. So just go with a pen, because you'll be writing down a lot of things. So yeah, after writing that down, I had to wait for my number, and sitting down there, I spent about 2 hours just waiting for them to call my number. My issue with, you know, that whole process was there were about 6 counters and it was just 3 people. We don't even up to, I can't remember, but there were very few members of staff that were calling us and they were attending to us. So I know that the guy that is just collecting documents was literally the only person. So, and that was what made the whole process very slow. But the time in which I had to like submit my documents to the guy that was, you know, collecting the documents was about, it was less than 5 minutes, because all you have to do is just give him your documents and then he staples it and then you're told to go upstairs. So I spent almost 2 hours downstairs. Like, you would wait a long time when you're downstairs. So yeah, after submitting my document, the next thing was for me to go up. That's when they do like the whole capturing. So when I went up, I met another crowd upstairs, and I think the one upstairs was even more chaotic. So when you're upstairs, I don't think they follow like the numbers they give you downstairs, because there are people who will come after you and you see them, you know, going to do like their capturing. So just be prepared that there is no order when you're upstairs. Like, I don't even know how they're calling the names upstairs, but just know that you're going to wait for a long time. So when I was upstairs, I stayed over 1 hour 30 minutes. And there is this guy also that comes in and calls people's names, and then you go to do like your capturing. When you're upstairs, you're also being told to write the sender's address on your what's it called, your special delivery envelope. I asked why we are the ones writing the address instead of like the embassy itself writing the address on the envelope, and they were like, you are the one writing it, because they do not want any situation when anybody will say like they wrote the wrong address or it was being sent to the wrong person. Guys, they just said that they just need you to be accountable, that if the envelope or if your passport does not reach you, you are the one that wrote the wrong address. So that's basically what it was for. Yeah, before I even forget, let's, you know, go back to when I was downstairs. When I was downstairs, the guy in front of me forgot his passport. So yeah, if you're going for this passport renewal, make sure you carry your documents. The guy in front of me forgot his passport, and he didn't even know till it was his turn for him to submit his document and his passport as well. And that was when he found out that he was not with his passport. I was even pitying for him, because imagine coming all the way, because he was coming all the way from far from Scotland. Imagine coming all the way from Scotland and your passport is not in your bag. Like, that is crazy. Like, it is crazy. And the guy was telling me he had to pay about 200 and something pounds for delivery. 200 and something pounds, that's like the same amount for 10 years visa. Guys, make sure you carry your passport and your documents. Another thing I would say is that for your NIN, there is this app you're supposed to download. Let me get the name of the app. The name of the app is NIMC Personal ID. I'm going to leave the picture of the app on the screen. Make sure you download this app and cross-check that your NIN is up to date. I know that people who did their NIN in Nigeria with their BVN are having issues with their NIN. My friend went for hers and she had issues with her NIN and she was not able to, you know, renew her passport on that particular day. So make sure you download this app and check that your NIN is correct. I did not even know about this app until the day of the renewal, and when I downloaded it and checked mine was working. I was so happy, because I don't even know where I would start from if mine was not working or if mine was not verified. So yeah, let's go back to where we stopped. When you're upstairs, you're going to stay there for about 2 hours, then or 1 hour, depending on, you know, whenever they call your name. Then you're going to go in for capturing. Capturing doesn't, you know, waste time. Capturing is like 5-10 minutes as well. It doesn't waste time at all. All they have to do is like take your photo and, you know, you sign, you do your thumbprint, and you're done. Yeah, after capturing, the next thing for you is to submit your special delivery envelope, and they're also going to give you like a confirmation slip. So on that confirmation slip, you need to snap that confirmation slip, because it's so important. The confirmation slip contains your tracking number. That's what you're going to use to track your passport. So you need to take a picture of it, just in case you need to follow up with your passport or track, you know, when it's going to arrive. So yeah, and on that confirmation slip, that is where you're going to see when you're going to receive your passport. So since I applied for mine in September, my collection date is in November. So that's about 2 months before I get my passport. So submitting the special delivery envelope doesn't also waste time. In under 5 minutes, you're done submitting that envelope. If you're going to renew your passport here in the UK, get ready to spend about 5 to 6 hours just renewing your passport. I went to the embassy by 9 and I left that place about 2 in the afternoon. So that's about 5 hours. You can spend longer than that, you can spend less hours. So it depends on, you know, your luck at the end of the day. The embassy also closes by 1 p.m. So make sure that you're there before 1 p.m. Anything you're doing, make sure you're inside the building before 1 p.m. Personally, I think that this whole renewal can be a lot easier, because while I was renewing this passport, so many people were talking about how other nationalities, it's easier for them to renew their passport. You don't need to waste time like this. Most of them said if you go to like other embassies, within 20 minutes you're done with your renewal. But I don't know why Nigeria's own has to be a problem, because you know what it is to spend 5 hours just renewing your passport and then it will take another 2 months before it comes out. If I had known that, to even get an appointment date was a hassle, I would have started applying for this passport in January. I would have had enough time to, apply for it and just know that I'll be done with the whole process. So the whole process of renewing this passport takes about 5 months. 2 to 3 months before you get appointment date, 2 to 3 months after you get the passport. There are some people who even say that they do not get their passport on the date that is written on their confirmation slip. So when it comes to doing your passport in this country, you have to be prepared for the worst. Literally, you have to be prepared for the worst. After going through this whole process, for my opinion, I think it's easier to apply for a passport in Nigeria. So if you're going to Nigeria anytime soon and your passport is expiring, my dear, it is better you apply for that passport in Nigeria before coming back here, because like guys, it is so stressful. Like, it is really, really stressful. So yeah, I have told you guys about my experience, and I've told you guys about the documents you require applying for your passport here in the UK. If you have any questions, or if you're trying to clarify anything regarding my experience, you can let me know in the description box down below, and let me also know about your experience here in the UK when it comes to applying for your Nigerian passport. Was this stress-free? Because mine wasn't. It wasn't. So let me know in the comment section if it was stress-free, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Do not forget to take care and stay safe. Bye guys.